Hello Radio World and welcome to my review for American Horror Story, Murder House, Halloween Part 1 and 2. That is right, I'm back again doing these kind of episode videos. I didn't think I was actually going to do another video until actually finishing the whole series and do a whole season review, which I'm still planning to do. But I just watched the first two parts of the series called Halloween. Absolutely fantastic, and I have to talk about it with you guys and express my opinions, of course. If you're not familiar with American Horror Story, it's a really fantastic TV series that's recently just come onto Netflix, which I'm currently watching season 1. This review will feature some minor spoilers, so if you have not seen the show, your own viewer discretion is going to advise in a sense, and you have been warned in that way. So the episode entitles. Basically, it builds up a lot of the themes that have been going on in the entire series. The first episode I felt was very mysterious. I wasn't sure quite what was going on, and it's got that very clear theme. But at the same time, there's still a lot of explanation, still a lot of things we don't know where it's heading to at the moment. We basically at this point, Halloween Part 1 and Part 2, this house is like an Amityville horror type thing. The house is just pure freaking evil, and it's kind of like taking all the people that have ever lived there and some way destroying their lives in some way, shape or form, and when they die, they actually don't go off to heaven or hell kind of thing. They're trapped in that house, and you can clearly tell that with the themes. They don't openly say it, but you can clearly tell that these are people or ghosts, and you can tell some are quite violent, some are quite nasty. You've had some characters that kind of survive the house and they're familiar with what's going on with this place, and they kind of see the ghosts in a way. These people are basically seriously pissed off, and they're kind of like, like characters that I've trapped you in their own kind of last moments in that way. I mean, there's certain characters that was revealed today with the first two parts. One of my favourite actors, Zachary Quinto from, of course, Heroes and Star Trek. Fantastic actor. I really enjoyed him in this, little two-parter. He played kind of like a gay guy that was obsessed with making the house perfect and fantastic, while at the same time having a cheating boyfriend relationship. And you can clearly tell that it's not like he doesn't choose to be that. He's trapped in those moments in a way. And thinking about it, it actually does make sense, because there's a character that was introduced in the very first episode, they're kind of like the housemaid, and you kind of got this kind of swift between the old version of her, which the wife sees, and this kind of young, kind of sexy, attractive, younger version of the character when he sees it. And that's quite interesting, because we'll find out in one episode early on is that, of course, she slept with one of the bosses, and of course she died from the incidents that happened. And it's like so many things are going on, but I'm curious where it's all leading up to. And there's definitely, it all kind of backtracks with each other. I mean, a lot of this episode was mainly focused upon the build-up of these characters, the main two characters that couldn't live in the house, what's happening with them, kind of like relationship, their baby, and the threats that are happening, not just with ghosts, but also characters outside. And I really love the fact that we got to see pretty much all the main ghost kind of characters, the people that personally lived there at some point stage in their life, all building up and all interacting in this episode. And it was kind of an action-packed one. It was kind of like a, holy shit, what's going on in this episode? And there's a lot going on, definitely tell you, and there's a lot of mystery still to be had and still to be explained. I thought it was a really intense, really interesting two-parter, had some really great characters, some pretty interesting reveals of certain things. I'm curious to see some explanations with some of the characters that have yet to be talked about, in the sense of the concept of the Rubber Gimp Man, which is kind of one of my favourite characters at the moment of the series, because he's just so it's just an obvious gimp in a sense, and it's like, what's the story behind that gimp? I want to know, to be perfectly honest. And we know certain things have happened between the first episode, which I'm not going to say for spoiler reasons, of course. But I mean, I'm absolutely loving this show. I mean, each episode is fantastic. It's well directed, pretty scary in places, to be honest, very creepy, very interesting. The writer clearly knew what he was doing this series, and my hat goes off to you to actually pulling off a very gripping series. The first episode really impressed me for a very first episode, because it usually takes a while to get into the swing of things. This one goes straight into it in a sense, and I absolutely love that. So I'm not going to say too much about the episode for spoiler reasons, but Halloween Part 1 and 2, fantastic episodes, probably the best of the series so far in terms of taking the show into the halfway point. It's like another 6 episodes left until I finish the series. It revealed a lot of things that are going on, and I'm curious to see what else they've got left to do. I mean, pretty interesting, definitely. So there you go, folks. It's been my review for American Horror Story episodes part 1, part 2 of Halloween, Murder House. So yeah, what are your thoughts and opinions, guys, on the episode, your thoughts on the series, of your opinions? Comment down below. So in the meantime, actually, signing out.